When we think of champions, we often picture gold medals, roaring crowds, and fists raised in victory. But what if the greatest fight of a champion wasn't inside a boxing ring? What if it was for his beliefs, his dignity, and his voice? This is the story of Muhammad Ali, not just a boxer, but a fighter for something bigger than titles. Born as Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, he grew up in a time when racism and injustice were everyday realities. At just 12 years old, after someone stole his bicycle, he declared he would whoop whoever did it and walked into a boxing gym. What started as a reaction to anger turned into a journey to greatness. By 22, he shocked the world by defeating Sonny Liston and became the heavyweight champion of the world. But it wasn't just his punches that hit hard. It was his words, his confidence, and his message. Speaking head, I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. He changed his name to Muhammad Ali after embracing Islam and stood proudly as a black man who wouldn't be silenced. Then, in 1967, when he was at the peak of his career, he made a decision that shocked the world. He refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War. Speaking head, I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. No Viet Cong ever called me racial slur. That one sentence cost him everything. He was stripped of his titles, banned from boxing, and faced 5 years in prison. Most athletes would have caved. Most would have apologized just to get back in the spotlight. But not Ali. He stood firm. He lost millions. He lost his prime fighting years. But he kept his soul. And when he returned to the ring years later, he proved he hadn't lost a step. He went on to win the Rumble in the Jungle, defeating George Foreman. Then came the Thrilla in Manila against Joe Frazier, one of the greatest fights in history. Muhammad Ali wasn't fighting for belts. He was fighting for truth, justice, and identity. He became a global symbol of strength and resistance. Even as he battled Parkinson's disease later in life, he continued to inspire, shaking but standing tall. Lighting the Olympic flame in 1996, he reminded the world that real strength isn't about muscles. It's about courage, conviction, and never backing down from what's right. Ali taught us that being a champion means more than winning. It means standing for something, even when the world turns against you, even when it costs you everything. Speaking head, he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. So when life hits you hard, when the world doubts you, when your voice shakes, but your heart is strong, be like Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and never stop fighting for what's right. Imagine 25 years old, undefeated, in your prime, and the world turns against you. No fights, no income, hated by some, loved by few. But Ali didn't run. He didn't beg. He stood tall. He toured colleges, speaking about justice, faith, and freedom. He became a symbol of resistance, not just in America, but around the globe. He lost years of his career, but he kept his integrity. And then came the comeback. After 3.5 years, he returned to the ring. Many thought he was finished. But in 1974, he faced the undefeated George Foreman in the famous Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire. No one gave him a chance. Foreman was younger, stronger, scarier. But Ali had something more: wisdom, heart, and strategy. Using the now famous rope-a-dope technique, Ali let Foreman wear himself out. And in the 8th round, with one perfect combination, he knocked him out. Then came the Thrilla in Manila against his toughest rival, Joe Frazier. It wasn't just a fight. It was war. Brutal, exhausting, unforgiving. Both men gave everything they had. At the end of the 14th round, Frazier's corner stopped the fight. Ali, barely standing, said, "Speaking head, it was the closest thing to dying that I know of." But he won, and he proved, once again, that champions aren't born. They're made through pain, sacrifice, and unbreakable will. Ali's legacy didn't end in the ring. In 1984, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The man once known for his speed and swagger began to slow down. But even with trembling hands and slurred speech, he continued to inspire the world. In 1996, the world watched with tears as he lit the Olympic flame in Atlanta. Shaking, but unbroken, Ali had become more than a fighter. He had become a symbol of courage, humanity, and resilience. Muhammad Ali wasn't just the greatest in the ring. He was the greatest in life. He stood up when others stayed silent. He spoke truth to power. He sacrificed fame and fortune for faith and freedom. He showed the world that being a champion isn't just about victory. It's about character. So the next time life knocks you down, when the world doubts you, when your dreams seem too far away, remember Muhammad Ali. Remember the man who shook the world, not with his fists, but with his spirit. Speaking head, don't count the days. Make the days count.